Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. So last week when we were doing this, we said, all right, we should just start a podcast. And that's what we're doing. You guys are just like, if you're listening to this, you're literally just a fly on the wall to a conversation that we generally have every week anyway. We just hang out and talk life, business, mom stuff, woman stuff, all the things. And we decided that maybe people like listening in and learning from our what not to do's, what not to do's mostly. Anyway, so I'm Lori, if you don't know me yet.
And I'm Carrie.
All right. And we're still trying to finalize what we're going to call this. So I'm not going to give a big introduction yet. We'll figure out, we'll finalize some things and let y'all know. So, it's, it's,
Yeah.
so how's your week been? How's life?
Life right now, it's funny. We've talked about it a couple of times. It likes to give me lemons sometimes. So it's been an interesting week. I'll put it that way, but it's focusing on the positive and what we can control moving forward. So I think overall it's been good. What about you?
It's good. I'm single momming it this week. And I always say, and you know this about me, I always say props to single moms. Moms too. I don't know if you can hear the commotion out there right now or not. Hold that thought for just a minute.
Speaking of which,
I'm back. The dog was stealing the blanket from the 4-year-old, and he did not like that. And now I'm yell that again. Hold on, let me set some parameters. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. We'll just have to see. All right. Anyway, so I am single momming it this week. And you know this about me. I always say I give props to single moms. I don't know how y'all do it. I have no idea at all. There is nothing about this that I would want to do all the time without help or support or anything else. And it is.
it's funny because I'm a single mom, and when my kids were younger, it's funny because you say that now, but you just do it. You don't think about it. You make it work however you can. And sometimes that's not, you have the days where it's perfect, where everybody gets up and you make breakfast and you go for a picnic and you do a play group, maybe like all the things that whatever. And then you have days where you're like, you've not taken a shower in 2 days and they're crying I tell this one story to my kids all the time because they're 3 years apart and now they're teenagers. So now they're just like, ugh, mom. But when they were younger, I want to say they were probably around, I want to say 3 and 6 is what's coming out in my mind. And at the time, I didn't have a washer and dryer at home, which is a whole other level of, okay, I'm a single mom. I'm figuring this all out. And now I have to also go to a laundromat and do my laundry. Right?
Yes.
Like insult to injury. But I didn't have a washer or dryer at the time. And so I had taken them to the laundromat to do laundry on this particular day. And I'm sitting there, and it's a moment just frozen in my time because it was like the perfect example of what single motherhood felt like to me when they were in that age range. Is I'm sitting there, I'm standing at the dryer, I'm trying to get clothes out and fold them as I'm getting out and put them in the basket, right? I've got one standing here and one standing here. So they're like on either side of the little cart thing. And they're just a mile a minute, just both of them. And I'm sitting there, yeah. And I'm a big advocate for kids being heard because when I was younger, that was something kids were meant to be seen, not heard type thing. So I've tried really hard to instill in them that I'm present, I'm listening to you, what you have to say has value, and I want to hear it. So I've always tried to be like that. So I'm in the middle of doing laundry. They're on either side of this cart. And one's telling me something, and then it's mom. And the other one's telling me something, and then it's mom. Oh, and my head literally, I'm standing there folding, and my head's literally doing this as I'm folding laundry. And I just remember that little snippet of time in my mind. And I come back to it so many times. As a single mom, that's what it feels like is your head is just literally spinning constantly because you've got to see all the things. You've got to hear all the things. You've got to just everything is under this micro or magnifying glass. And so I just always come back to that. And I'm like, how did I ever make it through those days? And in the middle of it, trying to remedy my own heartbreak. And this is when my personal self growth story kicks off and everything. So I always look back on that. And I look back on it more so with gratitude. At the time, it was frustration. With gratitude of, I love the fact that my kids felt that they could stand there and tell me every little thought that popped in their little minds, because
Every, every,
every time,
every single one of them.
single thought. And it's all so important. So important.
All of it. All of it. I'm like, guys, do you all realize I have 4 people trying to talk to me right now?
Yes, all at the same time. Yes.
Pick a number. I need to take a number thing. Do you remember that they used to have?
Yes, at the counters. So yeah, I totally understand and appreciate where you're coming from this week. I am so happy though it is not me. Love you, but no. And I only had 2. You've got 4, so it's a different beast.
It is challenging for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. My grandmother, my mom is one of 4, and I'm an only child. So I didn't have I had my sister, but my sister came later. That's a whole other story, another day, right? But like, as an only child for most of my life, and I did not have the typical, oh, we got to fight over this. Oh, we have to fight over that. Oh, how's this? Oh, how's that? You have that. I want that too. You're going there.
Right.
I'm going to go there too. And I'm like, can you guys please, can we stop?
How they cannot.
And they cannot. They can't. It's physically impossible.
It's like they'll implode if I don't have what that person has or do what that person is doing, I will not exist anymore.
I'm wondering, what in the world? And I guess as an only child, I never had that issue, but my mom was one of 4. And my granny would always say, I think that's one of the best pieces of advice that I got from her was like, if they're inside and they're doing whatever, they go outside. They go out. And so I try that. And then all of a sudden, somebody has to use the bathroom, or somebody's thirsty, or somebody gets hurt and has to come back inside. And I'm like, how did this work? How did this work for you that everybody just magically went outside? And I hear the stories. I know that they did when they went outside. My uncle tells lots of stories, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that Granny ever knew all those stories. I think she did when they got older. But I've got plenty of acres here. I got woods they can go run around in. I have for them to do crazy stuff in. Here, we do it at the cabin, but I don't have it here. But just go run around the woods. I got a big climb in the barn loft. Let's do some crazy stuff. But no, they don't want to do any of that crazy stuff.
There's what is it? I don't remember what it's called, but I recently read it and it kind of broke my heart because my son's a teenager now. But it's being a boy mom, because you've got mostly boys. So being a boy mom, it's like when they're younger, again, I don't know what it's called, but when they're younger, they want to be close to you. You are their world. And then as they get older, their world expands and you become farther from the center of that world. And it makes so much sense because I miss the day, because my son was the same. He wanted to be, if I was someplace, he wanted to be there. It didn't matter if he wanted, I'm sure there were days when he would lay beside my desk, or he would come and lay on my bed, or just whatever, but whatever he could do to be in my proximity. And I even started making a joke because he would just come and grab my arm and lay his head on my arm or whatever. And I would joke with him and say, do you need a recharge? But as they get older, they don't need that as much. And it's heartbreaking in one way, but it's really nice in another. We talked about this before. Motherhood's the one job you work yourself out of. But so in this moment when they're younger, and I always tried to keep this as a focus when mine were younger, is those days won't last forever of wanting to be in your space. Because that's really what it is, Lori. You're doing this and they want to be around you. And if
they want to be around me while I'm cleaning the kitchen, they can clean the kitchen too. Like,
no, not then. They don't want to be around you then.
no, they do. They do. They want to follow me around the kitchen while I'm cleaning.
While you're cleaning. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean,
Yeah.
woo. Anyway,
It's all about perspective. So it won't last forever.
I understand that. And right now, I'm thankful that it won't last forever. And I know that everybody tells me that I will miss it. And I'm sure I will miss certain things, but I will not miss the bickering. I will not miss
No,
fighting. I will not miss the whatever else we want to
no. Yeah.
talk about there. But yeah, no. I won't.
I don't think they ever stop fighting. My kids, like I said, they're teenagers now, and it's just it's the most random stuff. My son will they call it rage baiting. My son will rage bait my daughter, and then she'll go off, and then they're, "Mom, he's doing that," and then it becomes a whole, "Oh, now we've got to get mom to settle this." So I finally just stopped telling, and they're like, "Why isn't he getting in trouble? Why isn't she getting in trouble?" I said, "Listen, I've told you all to stop 600 times. You guys are not little kids anymore. If you all aren't going to listen to me, I'm not going to waste my energy in trying to get you all to go your separate ways." I was like, "You guys can figure it out." And they're like, "But he never gets into It's always that. And I'm like, "Good luck."
That's what Joseph says. Joseph is like, they'll work it out. Let them
Yeah.
figure it out. And I'm like, I'm afraid the way they're going to work it out is top rope, like, whoa, right? That's how I think they're going to work it out. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. We do have that thought as parents. And like I said, when my kids were younger, one being a boy, one being a girl, I didn't have as much of that concern. But now I have much more of that concern because now they're like pushing each other. There's been sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure my house is going to survive their teenage years. No, it's
But
fine. It's fine.
you know this, and I don't remember if we talked about this last week or not, but we just downsized, right? So we just moved from 5,000 square feet to 600 square feet. And everybody's in everybody's spaces now, and nobody has a place to go and be by themselves now. And I don't even have a room to go and hide in anymore. They know where all the rooms are here and can check them like that. Somebody's breaking in here in my room right now. What in the world? Hold on. What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, oh, what is it? You need to tell me something? You need to cuddle me? Recharge, right? Recharge.
Yep.
Cuddle me. Right. Cuddle right there. There you go for a minute. I'll let you.
Where's Claire?
Oh, I'm sorry. You spilled something on it, so now it's cold. Straight. I love you too, buddy.
And then they do that.
Yeah.
It's like,
For a second.
they're going to free pass to
Second.
whatever. Sure.
Apparently, we're supposed to have a meal the instant we get home from a park, and I didn't get that memo. Yeah. Yeah, never mind. I packed a meal and took to the park. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's different a meal at the park versus a meal at home. You
Yeah.
didn't see that in the handbook?
I lost my handbook and one of the
Oh.
got gone. Got gone.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, after we were so rudely interrupted, I don't remember what give me a second.
Okay, we got a surprise guest behind me right now.
Oh, more surprise guests. Fun.
Say hi, Tristan. Hey.
Hi.
You want to be a guest on our podcast? Podcast? Yeah, come up here. Actually, it's not live recording.
Actually, he said, actually.
Come on, Tristan. What are your thoughts about being a teenage boy? We are actually recording this for our podcast.
Oh, snap.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Never mind. Just kidding. Peace out. I'm out of the room. Later.
It's like, I'm not going to actually get on camera.
Can you double in?
I'll let Zelda in, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So,
Yay.
but see, he's going to go back in there and be fine. He's not going to have anyone jumping on him and him having to go, stop, get off me.
Yeah, Ireland's not home. You're right. We love
Oh my word.
Anyway.
Anyway, and I'm still laying down because I still can't sit. So for those of you who missed that little episode, I fell carrying my weight bench outside because Carrie and I are doing 75 hard. We work out twice a day right now. It's interesting. But anyway, so I slipped on wet steps and fell and I busted it. And it's very uncomfortable to sit. My backside is changing colors.
Not to minimize how painful it was, but I wish you'd had a camera set up so we could have some really entertaining.
I feel like
Now
we
we know nothing's broke. Now we can laugh
Yeah.
about it.
we could have won money. Like, I miss America's Funniest Home Videos. I
Yes.
mean, my kids will go and watch it now, like all the reruns and stuff. But I miss that. So yeah, I wish I would have had a camera set up. That would have been super freaking nice. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my eyebrows and I'm like, I did something wrong. I'm gonna have to go.
It's the way you're laying.
I probably got wet at the park. Or maybe it's just the lighting. No, maybe it's just the lighting. But I'm on that whole natural makeup kick thing. The only thing that I have tallow foundation, and the only thing I'm still using really is I use an eyebrow pencil, and so I draw them on I need a mold, right?
Yeah, one of those little stencils.
Yeah, a stencil. That's the word I'm looking for. I need a stencil to put them on and get them even because I do not get them even. My whole body's off. Did you know that about me? My whole body's like off a half inch anyway.
I believe it. I believe it. I don't think I knew it, but I could see that.
Yeah. So I'm an old pageant girl and I was in pageants when I was in my teens and 20s and I was getting ready to go to Miss Tennessee and like the thing to do is to have a reception, like a send off thing or whatever. And so my dress was hanging on the mannequin and like what I was wearing. And my pageant director walks over to my seamstress and she goes, that hem looks like it goes like this. Is that just the mannequin or whatever? And she goes, no, that's Lori. She's off. She's like that all the way up and down. When she puts it on, it'll be straight.
They were like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing? Are you sure we need to
qualified to be?
Yeah, are you qualified for this?" And then she's like, "No, actually,
I'm very qualified
over there.
because
She's
I
pretty
took into consideration that she's like,
That's so smart of her, though, to think of that. You know what I mean?
it was pinned to me. It's just like you don't realize it till it's off.
Until after.
Because like I can't show you right now because I can't sit up. But if I could, and like my hips are where you notice it the most. And even like I have chiropractic care, I've had pelvic floor therapy, I've done all the things, and I'm still like this.
Oh, you're just naturally crooked.
I'm not sure how I'll take that.
I mean that with love, I swear.
But even like getting older, but here's what I can tell in the 75 hard thing, right? Like I tell because I'm focusing on stuff. Like I picked things each month thus far. Like we're in the third, or I'm in third month of this round. You're in second month, right? Is that where you're at? Where are you at? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to look at my calendar.
Yeah. So like I've picked things that I'm focusing on and working on. I'm trying to pay attention. And here's what I will tell you. Counting calories is not efficient. Do not count calories.
Yeah.
High protein, good fats, good carbs. Count your macros. Counting calories without counting macros is non efficient. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It does not do anything for your body. And I'm saying that because I'm 47 and I'm in the best shape of my life right now. And I used to work out like for pageants and all that jazz too, right? But I'm literally in the best shape of my life. And I thought that one of my concerns in getting older was that being off and what that would do as I age or whatever. But it does not faze me at all. I'm so strong in my legs and my pelvic floor and my core is getting stronger and stronger. And but it's still, and I'm saying that it's still not corrected itself. Like,
But it sounds like you've got the infrastructure around it to support it.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
In theory, you never really know until you.
I mean, I proved it the other day. We didn't crack anything. We didn't,
It's true.
nothing.
It's true.
Nothing got broken on that one. So we're strong and hardy right there. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, getting older is interesting for sure
Yes.
because you
Very.
hear all these horror stories about getting older. And that is not all the horror stories that I hear have not been my experience thus far. Yours?
So some of it, yes, some of it, no.
Describe yourself. Would you say you're in perimenopause right now? Because I told them how old I am. How old are you?
So I'll be 44 tomorrow, actually. And I am in perimenopause. And it is because all the women in my mom's family, because there's some doctors that still think I'm too young for it. And the school of thought is you don't really get into that until you're probably closer to 50 or in your 50s. And all the women in my mom's family have gone through some sort of menopause or some sort of symptom like that before. So, for example, my mom, she had a lot of at the time, we didn't call it perimenopause, we just called it menopause, but she had a lot of symptoms. And she actually had a partial hysterectomy when she was in her late 30s, early 40s. But she didn't do hormone replacement or anything like that. And for me, it really has hit me in the last year or two, but I'm pretty sure that I probably had symptoms much longer when you actually dig in and do some research and stuff. The biggest thing for me that kind of kicked all of it off was I literally would wake up in the morning. I'm a pretty active person. I'm not in the best shape of my life. I'm getting there, but I'm a hiker. I like to hike. I go walk a lot. I'm active with my kids and things like that. So for me, it didn't make sense that every day I was waking up, I was in like so much pain. My joints just hurt. And I started looking at all the symptoms. My anxiety was through the roof. That's another symptom of it. I was just anxious about things that I normally wouldn't even worry about. And then it got more, aside from the achy joints and things like that, what really kind of tipped everything over, because everything else I was just kind of dealing with, right? Because that's what we do as women. We're just like, oh no, we're fine. We're just going to deal with.
Let's just push through. It'll be all right.
Yeah. And the achiness and stuff like that, I thought it was just, this is just aging, because that's what everybody tells you
Right.
is you'll get older and your body will get more worn down and all these things. And so I thought, gosh, man, that really hit fast.
Timing on that seems a little bit off.
And there was thoughts that went through my head of, oh my gosh, what if there's something, we always do that. Or we're like, what if this is something bad?
Yeah.
But just my gut was like, I don't think it's anything bad. I think that there's something else here. So that's when I started to dig in and do some research and stuff about symptoms of perimenopause. And some influencers that I follow were kind of talking about having similar symptoms and things like that with the anxiety, the joint pain. One of the other things was brain fog. See, I'm already clearly I got
What's that again?
But anyway, my brain fog was really bad to the point where I was concerned that I had dementia or something, which I know is crazy. I literally was like, no, my mind can't go. But I really would have really bad brain fog, just be in the middle of work. And my work at the time required me to remember a lot of details and to be able to recall those details and things like that. And I found myself writing, I would have notebooks and just post-it notes and things like that, just writing down the most random things so that I wouldn't
Are we
forget
not
them when I
supposed to do that? Are we not supposed to?
No, but to some level, I think we all do that. Yes. But this was like above and beyond my normal. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I've always been a note taker, but this was like pick up kid from school. Something I should not have to write. So yeah, and like I said, I started doing my research and digging in and everything. And I had this weight gain that came on all of a sudden. I've always been a little bit curvier. I'm not ever been a really super skinny girl. That's just not my makeup. I'm convinced of it. But I had some weight that came on that was just not budging. Nothing I had tried before or nothing that I'd done before was working. New things I was trying wasn't working. And that's another thing. And it was all around my midsection. And that was another symptom of perimenopause is that midsection weight gain. So the achy joints, the anxiety, the brain fog. But here, all of that. And I was like, I'll just tough it out. Okay. Not doing. And so one of the things that kind of tipped it over was I got to the point where I was so irritable. The irritability was just ridiculous. And here's why that bothered me, because it was making me a terrible mom. I felt, you can ask my kids, they probably thought something else, but they would literally come to me and I would just be so annoyed that they were even, and it's not nothing they were doing. They would just be
not
coming in.
breathe. Can you
Yes,
turn around?
like, why are you so loud all the time? It would be like that, seriously. And they would just be coming to tell me about their day or the things I want them to come to me and do. And I would just be sitting there and I would be just almost seething with annoyance. Oh, I'm so irritated that I have to deal with this, which sounds awful.
I could be brushing my hair. I just,
Yeah. I could be doing anything other than listening to this. And again, going back to the fact that I've always been a mother that wanted to make sure my kids were heard and patient with them. Then if a kid comes to you and wants to unload their day, I think as a mom, they should unload their day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be days when they're not going to want to come to you. So being that kind of safe spot while they're growing up, I think is really important. So to be about it, I was like, okay, something's going on. So I started to, like I said, do research and things like that. And it just all made sense. And so for me, what I chose to do is to do HRT, so hormone replacement therapy.
okay.
And it's just a low dose estrogen patch that I do twice a week. And that helped take the edge off of all that irritability. My body, that was another thing too, I forgot to mention. At night, I was always the one that had all the blankets, right? My body temperature at night had gotten higher to where I was literally throwing almost everything off of me at night, which is, I've never been that kind of sleeper. And so that was another thing, is increased body heat is another symptom of it. So it's crazy things that you never would think of.